welcome to the weigh-in video. I have done so many weigh-in videos in the past and I kind of took a break from it. Pretty much once 2025 started, I kind of gave up on weigh-in videos, and that is because I plateaued for the longest time. But now I feel like I'm starting to finally make a little bit of progress that is exciting to share. So I'm planning on doing these at the end of every single month, at the beginning of every single month, somewhere around there, and we will catch up on what has been working, what hasn't been working, goals, and what my weight is looking at like right now. So it's the end of June right now, and I weighed in at 194.7, if I remember correctly, this morning. And so we're just going to round that up to 195, which means I have lost about 10 pounds this past month. After being at a plateau for the longest time, I finally have lost some weight. I feel like there's a little bit of momentum going. I'm very positive right now. I got sick at the beginning of June, and I decided to just try counting my calories. And naturally, I just started eating more whole foods. Like that was one of my goals for this year, was to eat more whole foods. But once I started counting my calories, seeing the difference between calories in like a donut versus a potato, and being like, you know, I'd rather have the potato right now. That's not really the best comparison because donut and a potato are very different things, but you get what I mean. I started eating more whole foods, and right now I feel like I'm at a point where I almost prefer whole foods. Not completely. Like, you put a piece of birthday cake in front of me, I'm gonna eat the birthday cake. But before, I would be fine eating 3 slices of birthday cake and like half a pizza and be happy with that. But nowadays, if I go to like a birthday party and I have a birthday cake and some pizza, the rest of my day, I want to be a little bit more whole foods. Otherwise, I do not feel good. I feel icky. And especially like the importance of protein. I always knew that there was an importance. I cannot speak. I always knew that there was an importance with protein and that it helped with your cravings a little bit more. But I feel like after this month of tracking everything and really prioritizing protein, I noticed that if I'm on top of my protein and I kind of even it out throughout the day, I don't want to eat as many snacky things, as many desserts. I always want it. I always want it. But it's like less of a, like, I need it kind of feeling. So I've been using My Net Diary on my phone to track all of my calories. And it started with me just tracking calories. And I tried not to track too closely on the protein, because once I start like really focusing on the little things, like protein, making sure I hit like a certain amount of protein every single day, and I start obsessing over it, then I start basing all of my meals just around the protein. And I know you want to base your meals around protein. I obviously know that, but it was more of a thinking of, I got to eat all of this protein. That's where I'm going to get my calories from, instead of adding in like a piece of bread or some vegetables or fruits or something. Like, I was so protein focused the first time that I was focusing on protein that I really neglected everything else. And starting with just tracking calories was much better for me. And also giving myself a range of protein that I wanted to get in, instead of being like calculating my exact protein that I want to get. I feel good at 100 grams of protein. That is where my body feels good. Some days I do get up to 140 grams of protein, but I don't feel bad at 100. I feel pretty good at 100. And I feel like that's pretty easy for me to get while staying 1,500 calories or a little bit less or a little bit more. That's another thing with the calories, is I give myself wiggle room, because some days I'm not going to be super hungry and I might be sitting at 13 more than 15, and some days I might be more hungry or I'm doing more things and I might be at like 16, 17, or sometimes 18. I give myself a little range. As long as it kind of evens out to 1,500 for the entire week, then I think I'm good. So like I said at the beginning of the month, I was a little bit sick, but as soon as I stopped being sick, I went back into exercising and I felt good, like a lot better. I'd never felt bad while exercising, but exercising almost felt easier, better, and something that I wanted to do. It's like my body just started figuring it out as soon as I started tracking my calories and making sure that I get a good amount of protein in. I don't know. I feel like I finally figured it out, and it's not that I'm doing anything majorly different than what I had been trying to do before. I think it's more about me being lenient about what I've been doing than what I've been doing, just because I get so focused on just the little things. Like, I need to work out for an hour straight every single day. But yesterday I felt good at 45 minutes, and I was like, I need to stop. I'm really tired. And maybe the day before that, after an hour of exercise, I was still feeling good and I had time, and I decided to do something else or to go outside and do something fun and get some more steps in. You know, I'm more lenient about everything. I just tell myself that I need to track my calories and get in within a certain amount of protein and calories. And I need to move my body at least 5 times a week. And that might be for 20 minutes. It might be for almost 2 hours. I don't know. I just do what I feel like doing. So I was checking out my Fitbit app, and it said that my cardio fitness score has gone from poor to good. So everything is going so much better. I'm feeling so much better. My Fitbit says I'm feeling so much better, and I love the data. If my Fitbit says everything's going good and I'm feeling good, I think I am in a good spot to say that what I'm doing is working. I was a little discouraged because right before this, I took my before picture, and I compared my before picture today to my after picture after doing the Chloe Ting challenge at the beginning of the year. And honestly, I looked better in my before picture, the one that's in January, than I do in the one today. So that was a little discouraging, considering I am like 5 pounds less, I think, than when I finished that challenge. I'll have to fact check that. I'll let you know here. So I weigh less right now, but I feel like I don't look as good. I don't know. That could be my brain completely messing with me too, because I said in the Chloe Ting video that I could not see the difference between my before and after for that. And I honestly wasn't really expecting to see too much of a difference because it's only 2 weeks, and I just didn't think I was going to see too much of a difference. But I got a lot of comments saying that you could totally see the difference. So maybe my brain is just not good at seeing differences on myself. I feel like a good goal for the end of July might be about 187. So I lost 10 pounds this past month. I don't think I'm going to lose 10 pounds next month because this isn't a brand new thing anymore. Usually when something's brand new to me, that is when I see the most progress, and then it kind of just... So 187 is probably going to be a good spot. Just a little bit less than 10 pounds, but not too much. So still a little challenging, but not majorly. And my big number one goal is to get to 170 by October. That is where I want to be. That might get adjusted. I just don't want to get too hopeful because things usually go very well at the beginning of my different weight loss journeys that I've been on. And then suddenly I plateau, and then I lose all hope, and then I eat. That is the cycle that I've been in. But I'm hoping to break the cycle, especially because I'm feeling so good eating the food that I am right now. So I feel like this is something that I can keep up with. On Friday, I left for a bachelorette party, and I came back on Sunday. I think I did really well as far as like controlling portions, controlling drinking, making sure I was hydrated with water. Yes, I was lazy. I was hanging out with my friends. We didn't do any exercises. Was I shocked? No. But I did come home with so many chocolate chip banana muffins that are delicious, and I went absolutely insane. I think a majority of my diet on Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday for that matter, was muffins. So much so that I woke up in the middle of the night last night feeling sick. Like I was so stuffed that I was feeling sick. And it was pretty much just from muffins. Yes, I also went to McDonald's yesterday. It was my son's birthday yesterday. So we went to McDonald's and I was hungry. It was a moment of weakness. Should I have had it? Probably not. The burger wasn't even good. When I really started this journey specifically with the calorie counting and everything, it's probably been a little over a month that I've been doing this. I have not had any fast food Yes, I've had fast food soda. I'm not counting that as fast food. I have not had fast food. So yesterday I had fast food for the first time, and maybe that reacted with my stomach too. But also, after not having fast food for so long, the burger was kind of gross. Anyways, all of this to say, I am in desperate need of a reset. I weighed myself this morning. I think I needed a quick reality check, both because I thought that it was going to be absolutely awful. I thought I was going to get kicked out of Wonderland for sure. I felt like I was avoiding the scale to avoid the knowledge of said thing, and that I was partially telling myself that I was the same weight as right before I left, which right before I left, I was 191. I was pretty excited about possibly dipping into the 180s by the end of the month. But also I knew that I was going to be weighing more coming back from the weekend. And then the muffin thing happened and I was like, yeah, out of Wonderland. That's it. We're done. So weighing myself this morning, and I weighed in at 195.8. And then I weighed myself again without holding my phone, and that was 195.2 in case that matters. It's not awful, but my end of the month goal in my monthly weigh-in was 187, and I don't think we're gonna be getting there. I have to get a lot of cleaning done because my son's birthday party is this weekend. I have a few days to clean. I'm gonna put on some weights. Last dining chair, and then I got the high top chairs. I'm sweating. My ankles are sweating. I think mostly because these things are hot. I decided against putting them on my wrists because my wrists were going to be all wet, and I didn't want to deal with the cleaner on the cloth, and I don't know. It didn't sound like a good idea. So, I'm going to finish this one up. Going to do the high top ones. Then I'm sure I have more to do. I just can't remember it right now. So for lunch, I have my classic chicken taco bowl. And then I decided to throw some cheese on it today. Was feeling quite adventurous. And I also had the extra calories to do with as I please. I'm dropping lettuce. And then I added lettuce. I felt very like taco salad-y today. So that is the lunch situation. This and then a Celsius for the energy. I really don't want to get on the treadmill. I really don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to go on the treadmill. But it's the first workout back. The first workout is always the hardest one. I'm just going to get on there. Maybe I should have started with something I actually wanted to do. But honestly, nothing sounds great right now. So we're just going to do my least favorite, which is treadmill. And it can only go up from there, right? Why isn't that Celsius kicking in? I started it maybe like an hour ago, so I feel like this might be the peak. I didn't finish it. Still working on it. I probably have about this much left. Maybe I should sit and just finish it before I start working out. Really procrastinating. I could probably take a nap right now, and that actually sounds really good. No, I should do this. I should. Because I'm not going to be working out Saturday or Sunday. And there's no reason for me to make this a rest day. I've been resting for almost a full week now. It's Wednesday. Thursday was the last time that I exercised. Finished it. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do it. Yep. So I'm gonna put something on YouTube. I'm gonna walk for about 5 minutes. I'm at the highest incline that I can get at. This is a very old treadmill, so I don't know what incline that is. I couldn't tell you what level it is, what angle it is, nothing. I just know it's the highest that I can go because I feel like it's a little bit easier on my knees. Gives you a little bit more of a workout too. But honestly, it just feels better for me. So I like having the incline on all the way. I'm going to walk for 5 minutes at that incline. Then I'm going to do some interval runs. Right now I'm doing 30 seconds on, 1 minute off. I'll do it maybe like 8 times. And that will be the workout for the day. If I'm feeling real energetic, maybe I'll do something else. I'm feeling I'm not going to want to. I'm feeling I'm going to want to shower because I am actually very disgusting right now. I'm doing it. I'm running. Wee. I hate running. 30 seconds of running, a minute of walking right now. Just feeling chatty still. I hate running. I love how it makes me feel. I'm gonna keep pushing. At some point, maybe I'll enjoy it. Maybe. Give me your success stories if you were a runner that like hated running. You just made yourself like it. And give advice. I want to like it. I finished 8 rounds of the running, walking. I'm walking now. I'm feeling okay, so I'm gonna just keep walking for a while. We'll see what happens. Okay, I was only on the treadmill for a little over 20 minutes, but I did run, which is more than I really thought was gonna happen, especially when I was procrastinating that situation. I'm tired. I'm like sleepy tired now. My body is just no, and I don't know if that has to do with my period or the fact that this morning I kind of just went on a cleaning frenzy. It was something. I wish I would have gotten more of it on video, because maybe then you would be impressed with the amount of running that I did just now. Just know I am at 8,200 steps, and it is just before 2 p.m. I'm never there at just before 2 p.m. unless I've been on the treadmill for like an hour at some point. I'm never at that amount of steps. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna lay down either in my bed or on the couch and pray that my son just continues to take his nap for like another hour. Would be nice. This month was crazy for me, and there were so many different opportunities for me to fall off the wagon, and I kind of did, but I also kind of didn't. So both of my kids have a birthday in July, and I like to treat their actual birthdays like just a really fun day. So we were out and about. We went to McDonald's. They had cake. So that's 2 separate days that I could have fallen off the wagon. And then the third day for just their birthday is when they had their birthday party. I had them have a joint birthday party. I've decided to just do that until they complain about it. Then they can have separate parties if they really want to, but it's so much easier for me to plan just one. Here's the cake, by the way. The tree that I made for it, way too big, so we just put the characters on it. One of my best friends also had a birthday party in July, and hers was like an overnight party. There was lots of food, lots of snacks, cake. And then my other best friend had a bachelorette party for a weekend, and it was an entire weekend of us at a cabin. All the snacks, all the drinks. I will say, I did very good at the bachelorette party. I only ate what I really, really wanted, and I portion controlled that, and I had my protein coffee there. I made sure to pack that, and I feel like that helped keep me on track, because that's something that I have every single morning, and it's good to get protein in the morning, and I just love my protein coffee too. But if you watched the vlog before this, I did fall off track because I came home with so many chocolate chip banana muffins. There's something wrong with my brain. I almost feel like when something bad is in the house, I need it out, but I also can't waste it. And I realize the issue with this. I know it, but it just happens. And I eat it all, and I ate so many banana muffins that I got sick. But in the vlog that I posted, that was me coming back from that. And then the last thing that I had was a wedding at the very end of the month. And that threw me off a little bit because we had to travel slightly for it. So I was in the car quite a bit, sitting, not able to really exercise. The dance was it started very late. And I really only danced for a small amount of time because it was a weekday wedding and we had to get the kids home. And I think we only danced for maybe like half an hour, and that would be the only exercise that I would have gotten for that day. Other than that, it was just sitting at the wedding, sitting at the dinner, sitting at the drive. A lot of sitting that day. As for portion control, I feel like I did pretty good because the food that was served there, while it was good, was not some of my favorite foods. If it was like a pizza wedding, I would have gone nuts. So that's everything I had going on this month. There was a lot of opportunities for me to completely fail, and I'm not gonna lie, there were times when I completely fell off the wagon, and again, something with my brain where it's like earlier today I ate so much, I ruined the entire day. Let me just eat a little bit more. And then the next day I'm like, ugh, I did so bad yesterday. I'm gonna eat more today because I ruined it anyway, so I might as well just keep going. And then the next day I'll be like, I did so bad these past 2 days. I'm going to eat absolutely nothing until dinner, and that will even me out. And when I did that, I would eat so much at night. So there was probably collectively throughout this entire month a good 10 days where I was just eating whatever I wanted and I was not tracking my meals at all. But there were also a lot of times where I was doing really well with portion control. Oddly enough, the times that I was doing really well with portion control were actually at the events that I was going to. I don't know why that is, why I did worse when I would get back. And this is why I waited about a week into August before I did my weigh-in, because I wanted a good solid week where I was back to doing my normal stuff. So back to tracking my calories, back to exercising regularly, back to just like being in the weight loss mindset. And here are the results after getting back to it after having kind of a weird month. I wanted to be at 187. Looking back, completely unrealistic for me to get there. I started this month, I believe, at 194. And then this morning I weighed in at 190. So I got a good 4-5 pounds down, which is good. It's still good. It's better than nothing. It's better than me completely giving up and even just staying at that same weight that I was at the beginning of the month. It's better than me gaining weight. I am happy with the results that I got this month because we're trending downwards. And if you look at the trends from my scale, I did try to weigh myself every single day, but sometimes I was a little discouraged and just did not weigh myself for like a full week. But you can see I go up and down quite a bit throughout the month. And that is normal. I get into these mindsets a lot where I think I'm up. What's the point? I'm done. And then you look at the rest of the month and you can see like, yeah, you spiked up there, but then you dropped down 2 pounds the very next day. Weight fluctuates so much even throughout a day. There was one day that I decided to just test this out. I weighed myself in the morning, as I usually do, right after I use the bathroom, but before I eat anything. And then I weighed myself right after I exercised and after I had a little bit of food in me. I had eaten my breakfast and my lunch at this point, and I did some running that day. And I was up 6 pounds from that morning. That's insane. Like the amount your scale can fluctuate throughout just the day alone. So the scale, I'm learning that the scale is a tool. I like that I have my daily log of my weight just so I can see the trends, but sometimes weighing myself daily does get to me just a little bit. Here are my progress pictures. This is me from last month, and this is me literally 10 minutes ago. I feel like I'm still not seeing a huge difference here, but when I compare this month's to at the beginning of the year in January, I can definitely see the difference there. So I need to just compare where I am currently to where I was at the beginning of the year, and then I'm going to start feeling better. But I also feel like this month we're going to see a better drop. We're back. This is how much my hair fell, this is pretty much what I would wake up with in the morning if I didn't do anything. But I was playing on the playground pretty hard. That's the nice thing about my health journey so far, is that when I go to the playground, I can play at the playground. I know it's such a cliche. Every mom says, I want to be healthy so I can keep up with my kids, which is true. It is true. But have you guys ever been to one of these newer playgrounds? They are so much fun to just climb on. There's different spinning things and the swings. They have these parent and me swings, or older kid and baby swings where you can both swing together. I'll put a picture right here. You did get to swing. My weight loss, I feel like, has changed so much for me in terms of being able to do things like that. A year or two ago, I had considered joining like an adult softball league and decided against it. One, because the kids were pretty young at that point. And two, I didn't think I was in shape enough to do something like that. Not like these adult leagues are like serious, but I'd want to like not die during it. So someday I will join an adult softball league, but what's holding me back right now is just the fact that I want to spend time with my kids, not really the fact that I couldn't do it, because I feel like I definitely could right now. I made myself a taco bowl and I'm gonna have this. I'm also going to have, yes, I checked the fridge. I was hoping this was in there. This is my favorite energy drink right now. I am such a newbie to energy drinks. I remember kids in my high school drinking Red Bull and stuff, and like they would collect the little tabs for it. So much Red Bull was consumed at my school. I didn't touch it. I was afraid of caffeine just making me go, fuck! I already had a lot of energy as a high schooler. I didn't need any more. I also had heard, you know, it's gonna rot your teeth out, which I don't have the best teeth in the world, but they aren't rotted. Hello! Anyways, this is the best drink. It's the Dream Float from Milani New. My favorite. You can actually taste the vanilla in it. I'm gonna finish this, then one of my kids takes a nap and one of my kids does quiet time, and during that, I'm going to get my workout in. I've been doing the Chloe Ting Pilates challenge and I'm about halfway through it. This is day 7. I don't remember what day, but I'm halfway through it. I've done every single video that there is and it's pretty much just on a repeat now. So that video will be coming soon, and after that, I probably should clean my house. It's a little messy, but I feel like I'm gonna be pretty tired because I've actually been pretty go, go, go today. I did not think that we'd be doing as much as we've done today. Hello and welcome to the monthly weigh-in. Let's talk about August. So in August, really the only big event that I can really remember is just my camping trip. And of course, during my camping trip, I did gain a little bit of weight. This was about mid-month, so I had been losing weight a little bit by then. Like, I had lost a couple of pounds, but I gained whatever I had lost at the beginning of the month throughout the camping trip. And I think a majority of that is from the day that we went out for pizza, because my kids were so pumped to just be camping. They were so excited. It was really hard to get them to just sit down and eat, so finally we just went to a restaurant because it was less exciting and they would just sit down and eat. So I think a majority of the weight gained was from that situation, because I love pizza and we also ordered cheese curds. Wisconsinite, I cannot say no to cheese curd. It's just not happening. So when I got home, I immediately got back into the weight loss mindset. And this is what I have an issue with most trips, most events, is that a lot of times when I'm actually at the event or doing whatever it is, like camping, usually I'm really good during that, and then I get home and I just eat. But this time, when I got back, I just got back into it. What I was doing was lightly tracking this month. I was not tracking as rigidly as I had been the past couple of months, and I've been tracking since probably about June pretty regularly. I'm starting to get a better idea of how much I can eat throughout the day, and also just listening to my body and figuring out from there, like, when is a good time to stop? What is a good portion size? This month I was eating a lot more whole foods. I was doing a little bit more meal prepping, more like ingredient prepping than meal prepping. And for breakfast, a lot of times I was having protein coffee. And for some reason, every once in a while, this happens like 2 or 3 times a year, but coffee starts making me feel a little bit sick. It starts giving me headaches. I don't know why this only happens every once in a while, but right now I'm off of coffee, so my protein coffee is not happening right now. I'm having protein overnight oats, just mixing in protein powder with Greek yogurt, a little bit of milk, and some oats. And I think I added a little vanilla extract to really bump up that vanilla taste. So while I was eating a lot of whole foods, there were times that I was eating foods that were not super great for me. Of course, the pizza and the cheese curds when I was camping, but we also did stop at some fast food places throughout the month. That's just kind of how life is. You go to fast food places because they're very convenient when you're traveling. They're very convenient when you're going from place to place, when you have a full day of shopping and you just need to eat in the middle of the day. fast food's gonna happen. So I think I'm doing a good job of balancing things for the most part. Now, exercise this month. I started the month doing the Chloe Ting Pilates challenge, and I did post a video on that if you are interested in seeing that. And when I finished the Pilates challenge, this was right before I went camping, I was so motivated to keep going because the results from those 2 weeks, visually, like the scale did not show it all that much, but visually, my progress pictures, I made so much progress in 2 weeks. And I don't know if I can attribute all of that to the Chloe Ting challenge or if it's just my body finally starting to show a little bit more muscle, release a little bit more fat. I don't know what it is, but I'm starting to see the progress finally. The scale has been showing progress for a long time. I see it trending downwards. But visually, I had a hard time seeing it. Once I was done with the Chloe Ting challenge, went camping, came back, was so motivated by the results from the Chloe Ting challenge that I decided to start the Chloe Ting Summer Shred. I have such a hard time saying that. I decided to try that. I think I got about 3 days in, and I was just so sick and tired of it. It already was so repetitive, and I just was craving something new, and I knew if I forced myself to complete this challenge, that exercise would not be fun. I wouldn't be looking forward to doing it, and I would probably skip a few days. So I decided to make exercise fun again, and I've been feeling the running bug a little bit. I am no runner. I have bad stamina. It's starting to get better. Bad stamina, bad endurance. I just am not a great runner. And I can't just go out and run whenever I want. I have kids. So if I want to go outside and go running, either the kids have to come with me, which I'm in a hillier area and I really don't want to push both of them in the stroller uphill running. That sounds awful. So I would prefer to not go running with them. So then I need to coordinate with my husband a time when he's home and able to solely watch him by himself. And I don't know. This must be just a mom thing, but I do feel some guilt just leaving the kids to do something fun. So running outside, not really a thing that I can do. I do have a treadmill, and that is where I do most of my running. So I started running with intervals. So I did 30 seconds of running, 1 minute of walking, 8 to 10 times. Of course, with a warm up and a cool down. And then yesterday, I finally worked up to 1 minute of running, 1 minute of walking with a warm up and a cool down 8 times. So we are making progress. It's very little progress, but it is progress. Am I enjoying running? Slightly. I wouldn't say I got a runner's high. I don't have that, but I do not absolutely hate it. And I love the way that running makes me feel afterwards. I just feel better, like healthier. I don't know what it is about running, but it makes me feel really good. And then I also started doing my strength training again with Kaylee Cohen Strength. Just using dumbbells. I have 15-pound dumbbells right now. Sometimes I use my 5-pound dumbbells for like the warm-ups, or some exercises are just really hard with the 15. I wish I had 10s because those would be a little bit easier, but not too easy. Like the 5s are way too easy. And I also wish that I had 20 pounds or 25 pounds for the things that the 15 pounds are feeling too easy. But this is what I got right now. That is what I'm doing currently. Throughout all of August, I exercised for 24 days in total, which has got to be a new high for me for how many exercise days I have within a month. For some reason, August, I just really enjoyed exercise. I've always enjoyed exercise, but I actually am starting to look forward to exercise. And I don't know if it's because I'm starting to gain the strength and I'm starting to lose some fat, so then these exercises are a lot easier, a little less painful. Well, not painful, straining. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. It's just getting easier. It's getting better, and I have the routine, and I'm really enjoying exercise right now. So let's talk results for August. I started August at 190 with a goal of hitting 183 by the end of the month. And today I weighed in at 185, so we didn't hit that 183, but when I tell you, I'm about to show you these progress pictures, I see the difference, and it feels drastic. Like, these pictures are so different from each other. I can't believe this is only 1 month. So here's me at the beginning of the month. Here is me at the end of the month. And then here's some side-by-sides. And for fun, I thought I would put my January picture with the picture I took this morning. Wow, I've made so much progress this year. Yes, I wish that the scale was showing a little bit lower of a number because it kind of sucks that I didn't hit that actual goal, but honestly, who cares? My clothes are starting to get too big. I need to go shopping here pretty soon. I think we'll do a thrift haul. I need a new belt because my belt was getting me through for a while, and then I went to put it on and I couldn't even make a new hole. Like, I would be wrapping the belt around me quite a bit at this point, and it would almost be just too annoying. My original goal was to be 170 in October. I could possibly get there, but I kind of feel like it's not gonna happen. So I'd like to be in the 170s by October. But my goal for the end of September is to see the 170s. So if it's 179.9, that is my goal. And I think that is a little bit more achievable because I lost 5 pounds this month with vacation. September, I don't think I have any vacations planned. I do have a wedding that I need to go to, but besides that, I guess that is a vacation because we're staying all weekend. So it might be a very similar month next month, but we'll see. So because I'm not having my protein coffee for the foreseeable future, I decided to do some overnight oats, and I've had these off and on for a while. I'm deciding to go with a vanilla protein oat because then I can add extra things to it, or I can just eat it plain, whatever, just depending on how I'm feeling in the morning. So what we need for this is half a cup of quick oats, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, half a cup of vanilla Greek yogurt, half a scoop of vanilla protein powder, half a cup of almond milk, and then I decided to add about 10 grams of chia seeds. I just love the texture of chia seeds. It's like gross, but a good gross. All right, I prepped 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And these are all gonna go into the fridge, and this is gonna be my breakfast for the next 3 days. Oh, as for lunches, I think that's something I'm going to prep tomorrow because I am frankly just very sick of being in the kitchen now. So I have about 20 minutes before I need to make dinner, and I'm going to play Animal Crossing and forget about cooking for 20 minutes. Four to 5 potatoes is 80 calories, so, you know, honestly, I just might make them all up, and I'll eat them throughout the week. Okay, it says toss potatoes with oils, herbs, salt, and pepper. So, I bought some olive oil spray today. I have no idea how to track this, but I feel like if I'm light with it, whatever, it's fine. Especially today on a day where I don't feel like that I've been eating very heavy. I'm going to say, I don't care. I think it's probably fine. And this is a lot less than if I were to like drizzle legitimate olive oil. It's fine. Then I think I'm just going to use Kinder's, the blend. It's just salt, pepper, I think garlic. It's a pretty good I think I put this on the chicken too, actually. There we go, potatoes. I might just throw my frozen broccoli on here too and just bake that. And then everything's on one pan. I don't have to think. All right, here is dinner. I'm so excited to eat it. I made it a lot bigger than I usually would because I ate so light the rest of the day. Usually my breakfast, lunch, and dinner are a little bit more even with each other, and my snacks are, but today this is just how it worked out. I wasn't super hungry, and even right now, I'm hungry, but I'm not like super hungry. So this might take me a minute to get through, but I am running out of space on my phone. I will show you what I'm gonna have for dessert tonight. Right now, I'm gonna be having a sugar-free chocolate pudding with strawberries, and I think it's gonna scratch that itch for like something super chocolatey and chocolate covered strawberries, but easier. Honestly, I'm just too lazy to make chocolate covered strawberries. So that will be dessert tonight. Dying, and I think I got my period. Okay, I'm putting on a new shirt, and it is a little bit tighter than what I'm used to wearing. Like, it's more form-fitting, and it fits. It's definitely more. I'm used to things being very loose on me because I try to hide, I guess, but I'm starting to buy some new clothes. I'm not feeling great about this, but I'm feeling better than I did, so at least I'm feeling better about my arms. Like, they're still not my favorite, but I'm feeling better. Good morning. I have had such the morning already, and it is only 8:30 right now. Just finished up my protein oats. I'll leave the recipe for that below. Got the kid on the bus. I finished my lower body workout, which I completely understand these memes of those guys with like the really little legs with a really big upper body and being like, oh, he skipped leg day. I don't want to do leg day. I hate leg day, but I don't want to be a meme. I'm currently drinking coffee, so we are experimenting with if coffee is going to make my stomach upset. I took about a week off of coffee. I switched over to the protein overnight oats, which I actually really love. Maybe I might, I don't know, because I love my protein coffee too. This is just regular coffee today. It's iced coffee, a little bit of pumpkin spice syrup, and a little bit of almond milk. So no protein powder in this today. But I do prefer a protein coffee over just this regular coffee. So I think I'm going to be switching between having either a protein coffee in the morning or having my overnight oats in the morning. It'd be nice to find something a little bit lower calorie to go with my protein coffee, because a protein coffee alone is about 170 calories, but it's pretty high protein. So I feel like it's not quite enough calories in the morning. It's definitely enough protein in the morning, but not quite enough calories in the morning. But I don't know what to pair with it. I haven't been able to find something to pair with it. And usually by the time I'm done with a protein coffee, I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm kind of just going with whatever my body's feeling. But it would be nice to think of something, because every once in a while, some days, I do feel like I want to add something with my coffee. I'll have to think about that. Hello, welcome to the monthly weigh-in video. I am going to get progressively sweaty as I'm sitting here because it is hot And if I turned on a fan, you wouldn't be able to hear me. If you're new to my channel, I have been working on this weight loss journey for years, and it wasn't until June that things really started turning around. I finally got out of the 200s and into Wonderland, and that was just such a motivation for me to keep going. So I started out about 2 years ago at 240 pounds. Last month, I was at 184 pounds, and the goal for this month, right now, I was supposed to get into the 170s. I didn't get there. On October 1st, I weighed in at 181 pounds. So I only lost about 3 pounds this month, but I'm still losing weight. In June, when I finally started taking my weight loss journey a little bit more seriously, my original goal was to be at 170 by October. I'm about 10 pounds off from that. If I hadn't started working in June towards that goal, I would still be like 205 pounds right now. I would still be just trying everything for like a day or two to try to lose weight, and then I would eat a ton for like a month. What I was doing was not working, and the weight loss is slow, but it is happening. So I'm going to keep going. Let's take a look at the full month though. I do weigh myself daily, and it is mentally very difficult to do because especially this month when I was watching my weight every single day, it seemed like the weight was not changing at all. The good thing about weighing yourself every single day is that you can see the trends. You can see I started my period this day and my weight was much higher, or maybe my weight just significantly dipped a certain day. Why would that happen? You know, you start seeing these trends, and I feel like when you weigh yourself every single day, you get more information on stuff like that. So then if I weigh myself on a random Tuesday and I'm up 5 pounds, I can think about why that could be. Did I have salty popcorn the night before? When I have salty popcorn the day before I weigh in usually a pound or two heavier the next day, and then I drop like 3 pounds. This is stuff that I know because I weigh myself every single day. So yes, let's look at the weight every single day. There were a lot of ups and downs. When you really zoom out on it, you can see that the trend is down though. I'm losing weight, it's just very slow, and sometimes it's up a little bit, but it always finds its way back down. Now my before and after pictures. Every single month I take a picture from the front, side, and back, and I take a look and I try to see what is different. Last month, in that weigh-in video, I saw the biggest change ever. Instead of telling myself that every single month I'm gonna see that giant change, I told myself this is like a once in every 4-ish months kind of situation where you're going to see a major change. And I knew based on my weight, my weight has not been changing all that much. So these progress pictures, probably not gonna look too different. Let's take a look at them. Do you see? I see pretty much zero difference, besides that I'm wearing different shorts. I had to stop wearing the shorts that I was taking in my pictures because they were just getting way too loose. You weren't seeing anything. So I put on a pair of bike shorts, and I don't know if it's the best decision in the world because they're black, so you can't really see too much detail with that, but it's really all I have. So the black bike shorts it is. Let me know if you see any differences in these pictures, but for me, I'm not really seeing all that much. Now let's reflect on September. Why was I not losing weight as rapidly? Number one reason is that I feel like as soon as you get into the swing of things with a weight loss journey, your weight starts slowing down. As soon as I start a weight loss journey, it is guaranteed I'm going to lose like 5 to 10 pounds in that first month because it's brand new. I finally started doing something a little different, so my body changes a lot faster. Right now, I'm doing a pretty similar thing that I have been doing for the past couple of months. Sorry, I tripped over that word, months. And while I'm still trending downward because of these habits, it's not as quick or drastic because what I'm doing is not as drastic. And I don't want to do things super drastic because I want these results to last. Every time I've lost weight in a drastic way, it has come back very, very quickly. So slowing it down, it gives me time to learn these good habits so I can have these habits for the rest of my life. I don't know why it took me so long to learn this, but as soon as you lose the weight, you can't go back to how you were when you were a lot heavier. Otherwise, you will get a lot heavier again. But anyways, I got off track there. Reflecting on the month. What I did start this month was that I stopped tracking my calories. I started eyeballing things. I started just eating similar foods to how I was eating before. So I am eating healthier. Every once in a while I'll have a processed food, like an ultra processed food. I have not been tracking my calories as much because I want to get to a point where I don't track my calories every single day. I want to be able to look at something and think, oh, I can make this fit into my calories for the day because I'm estimating it's about this much. And that's always been the goal. I have said for the longest time that I will not track my food, but as soon as I started tracking my food, that's when I started losing weight. So I did it. I stopped doing it this month, more as like a trial. What's going to happen if I stop tracking my calories and I just eyeball things? What happened was it slowed down a little bit. Maybe I was overeating. I don't know. I wasn't tracking. But where I do think that I did very well was in my fitness goals. I worked out 25 days this month. And for the past couple of months, I've been really enjoying exercise. Like I'm not dreading it anymore. And I think a lot of that is because now that I've lost a little bit of weight and I'm getting a little bit stronger, exercise doesn't feel painful. It's not that the exercise was like hurting me. It's just that I couldn't do it to its fullest extent. A crunch was difficult for me. One, because I didn't have the strength to do it. And two, I had a big belly and I couldn't get past it. I couldn't do the full range of motion. And now that I'm losing more weight, I can do more of that. And I've also just found different workouts that I really enjoy. Now, running is not one of those exercises that I really enjoy, but it's one that I really want to enjoy. And I think I've found how to make it somewhat enjoyable. Instead of running for distance or for the amount of time that I can run without stopping, I decided to start doing interval running. I just wanted to build my stamina and have better heart health. And running is an easy way to do both of those things. So I started with, I believe, 1 minute running, 1 minute walking. And then last month in September, most of my runs, I think were about a minute of running, 45 seconds of walking. So I just took some of that rest time off. And now for about a week, I've been doing a minute and 30 seconds running and 45 seconds walking. Oh, and I'll only do this up to like 15 minutes. So it's about 8 sets per run. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. I will not get runner's high, but I love how I feel when I'm done running. And I just feel like day to day, I feel healthier when I run. So I'm going to continue doing it because I enjoy the benefits of running. I just don't enjoy doing the running. I don't know if I've ever in my weigh-in videos lately have actually hit the goal that I set the previous month, but the goal that I'm going to set for the end of October is to be at 175. So I need to lose six-ish pounds. Will I hit it? I don't know. But I did want to be at 170 by October, and it's kind of annoying that I'm not spiraling over it, but I am a little bit disappointed about it. Hello, I filmed an entire grocery haul and it was just chaos in the background. I have tried to film so many grocery hauls because I feel like that kind of makes sense for my channel, like my weight loss journey, food, you know, it makes sense. Every time I come back from grocery shopping, my kids are so loud. They're usually eating because, you know, we got new food. They want to eat the new food. I don't buy myself all that much different stuff anyways, because most days I start with my protein coffee in the morning. Sometimes I'll have an overnight oats. And then for lunch, I usually either have my taco bowl or a turkey and cheese sandwich. And then for dinner, I have what the rest of the family's having. Like, I don't restrict myself too much with dinner. It's more about me practicing mindful eating at dinner time. So just being mindful of my portion sizes, because I am still not tracking my calories. By the way, I'm making my taco bowl right now. I make a giant bowl of it and then I just portion it out. And usually it lasts me 1 or 2 weeks to get through it. I'm still not counting calories. I'm just eating like I usually do. And this morning I got into the 170s. Yes, it was 179.8. Like, I'm barely in there, but I am there. And I am so excited because the 170 was the big goal right now. Well, the first big goal was to get into Wonderland. And then my next goal is 170. And I'm very excited to get there because it just seemed like one of those goals that was less attainable than getting in the 100s. Like 170 seemed so far away when I was at 240. Dang, this is a lot of Greek yogurt. I'm weighing it out because I know I need 340 grams for the entire thing. But that was like half of this. But that's a good portion of protein. The good thing about this taco bowl is that it's very high protein and very low calorie. So I don't need to really weigh it after I make it all together because filling up one of my regular bowls is usually under 300 calories or about 300 calories, somewhere around there. So I don't have to think too much about it. I am really enjoying the place that I'm at with eating, with fitness, especially with fitness. I am loving getting a workout in during the day. And I feel like my daily life has improved so much because I'm fitter than I was. Well, because I'm healthier than I was. I just move so much better. I'm not out of breath as often. I'm not there 100% where I want to be, but I am starting to feel the changes more and more every single day. Taco seasoning. Right now, it's just riced cauliflower, taco seasoning, and cilantro, and Greek yogurt. That's what it looks like right now. Then I buy this at Aldi. It's just their rotisserie chicken, and I just pour the whole thing in there. I do feel like it needs to be chopped a little bit more, but that is the most work that I put into the chicken. I used to grill up a bunch of chicken. I used to make a ton of chicken in the crock pot and just shred it. These things didn't last very long because it was effort and I didn't want to put in the extra effort for my lunches. So I've just decided to splurge a little bit more on the rotisserie chicken just to make my life a little bit easier. Right now I'm doing my boot camp challenge. So you saw this morning that I did my organized workout, which was an upper body workout. Why am I already forgetting? That wasn't that long ago. It was just a couple hours ago. Yes, it was an upper body workout with, I don't remember her last name, but it's Madeline something. When I want a workout that really challenges me, usually I go to Madeline for that. She's also just such a big personality. She's kind of just fun to work out with. And also her other videos, which are more like recipe videos and stuff like that, and just talking about fitness. Her regular videos are really good too. So you should check her out if you have not yet. If you are a beginner working out, I don't 100% recommend her workouts right now because they are quite difficult. I think I'm getting closer and closer to not being considered a beginner. Maybe. I don't know what I would be considered, but I work out every day. I've worked out every day for 2 weeks now. Not every single day of those 2 weeks are to the extent that today was, because like I said, when I want a challenge, I go to Madeline. I went to Madeline this morning. Although honestly, the workout that I did this morning wasn't as difficult as her other workouts in the past. Still a challenge, but not the most challenging of her workouts. So that was my organized workout today. And then I decided that my chill workout for today was my shopping. And I'll probably do a few extra steps on the treadmill because I have been getting 10,000 steps every single day. I'm at 7,500. So I need to get all of my steps in. I'm gonna be honest though, the no phone after 8 p.m. one, I have accomplished one time, and tomorrow will be a week of doing this challenge. I haven't done it every single time, but I am getting my time outside every single day. That's not really the biggest challenge for me right now. I do get outside at least 15 minutes every single day, even pre-challenge. There's the taco bowl, all complete. At least at night. I feel like maybe during the day, not as much because I'm doing so much during the day. So maybe I shouldn't beat myself up over it too much because it's kind of my chill time is my phone time at night. But the one day that I did turn off my phone at 8 p.m., I got 10 hours of sleep and it was so good. That's probably because I went to bed as soon as I wasn't allowed to be on my phone. but whatever, that's fine. I got these containers on Amazon. This is my first time using them. I was using just cheap plastic meal prep containers, and they worked. They worked, but they always break after about a year. So I decided to splurge this time and get the glass ones. We'll see how I feel about them. I will let you know in about a year. So I filled 3 of these. I'm gonna put one of these in the freezer. I'm gonna eat a bowl of one of these. And then one of them, the rest are gonna go in the fridge. So there'll be 2 in the fridge, 1 in the freezer, and I will eat probably about half of this one. This lettuce is a questionable color now. But it's not that bad. I'm gonna use it. All right, here's my cheat today. Queso. And there we have it, my taco bowl. Just gonna mix it up. I'm gonna sit and eat this because my brain is going 50 different ways and I'm unable to focus. So I need to sit and just think of nothing for a little bit. Good morning. It is leg day today, which is my least favorite day, but it is a day that needs to get done. I'll be honest, I've not been feeling great about my weight loss journey, and that is because I got into the 170s maybe about a week ago, and I got bumped out so fast. And I feel like there are a list of reasons why I got bumped back into the 180s. Number 1, I'm not tracking right now. Off days, saltier foods, you know, that kind of stuff. That might be happening, but I feel like a majority of it has to do with my cycle. And I also bumped up my weights to 20 pounders. From what I've been reading, when you bump up your weights a little bit and you get more sore as there are like little tears in your muscles, the muscles swell and retain water. If you're getting all of your information from me, don't, because I'm just repeating what I found while Googling and my memory is crap. So I could be misremembering completely, but what I do remember is, in summary, sometimes when you add more weight into your routine, you gain a little bit of weight and then it drops. So I'm gonna wait for that drop. I'm not gonna put too much on the scale right now. I think a good chunk of the reason why I'm feeling bad about it is because I'm not tracking right now, and I really want to get to the point where I'm not tracking, and this is kind of my trial month to do it. And while I'm not gaining a significant amount of weight, I feel like I'm more maintaining still, so I may have to go back to tracking next month. But I should probably stop distracting myself and get to doing my leg day. I'm just getting done with my workout. I don't feel like it was a very good workout. I just don't feel like I got a lot out of it. And I think a big portion of that is just because it was only a 20-minute, 30-minute workout, and I took about an hour to do it. So there were a lot of breaks throughout that time. My kids just needed a lot of help this time, and it happens every once in a while. Sometimes, actually most times, they're very good at just playing independently while I'm getting my workout in. I work out for about half an hour. I hang out with them, and if I feel like doing another half an hour, I'll usually go back and do a little bit more. But today, they just needed help about every 5 seconds, it felt like. And I don't mind helping them, but it doesn't mean I don't get frustrated. So this morning I am a little frustrated. I feel like in combination with just how I've been feeling about my weight loss journey in general, it just overall, I'm very frustrated and I feel like I could cry right now. It's one day. It's not that big a deal. And yet I'm just feeling so many feelings about it. Just gotta smile through it. Yeah, so just frustrated this morning. I think I'm just going to move on. I have to get dressed, help the kid get on the bus. I have to do some laundry and some other just like chores. I got to get going on my day. Here's everything that happened in my life in October that may have contributed to what I'm seeing on the scale right now. I think it was at the end of September when I stopped tracking calories. I just kind of wanted to see if I could live life normally without tracking calories, if I could just not gain weight. I did continue to weigh myself every single day to just see what my body was doing, and I would say I was thrown into more of a maintenance phase for most of when I was tracking, and that annoyed me a little bit. So I started tracking again at the end of October, probably about the last week of it. And when I started tracking, I really realized that when I wasn't tracking, there was a lot of snacking happening, which is kind of weird for me because I'm not a huge snacker. I love sweets, but that's about it. Like, I could take or leave chips. Popcorn is kind of my weakness. I wasn't tracking, so I can't remember how much popcorn I was eating. I don't remember it, but I do know we use our popcorn machine. I added oil to the popcorn machine. I feel like a contributing factor to me not really gaining weight, but not really losing weight either, was the oil in my popcorn. Another thing I realized as soon as I started tracking my calories again was that I was very much so not getting enough protein in. And I think what happened was because I knew that I was snacking so much throughout the day, I would make my main meals much smaller, and that was where I was getting a lot of my protein in before. So the snacking thing really just threw me off because I was overcompensating basically. And of course there was Halloween weekend. I am just getting done with Halloween weekend. We are back to normal starting today. Halloween weekend was something. We went trick-or-treating, of course, and I got a lot of steps in that day, and that was from not even doing any exercise. It was just from trick-or-treating. So as far as movement for Halloween weekend, it was very good. I also joined in the day before Halloween in MK Fit's live stream to do a live dance exercise thing, and that was so much fun. So as long as we're talking about exercise, throughout the month of October, I exercised 29 days with 2 rest days. And when I say I exercised 29 days, I don't mean that I was doing an hour of very physical exercise. Like I would say maybe half of my days were these very physical exercise days where my heart rate really gets up. And then half of them were a little bit more relaxed workouts, like more quick weight training workouts, or just walking on my treadmill, or if my Fitbit just auto tracked me doing something, like I was sweeping outside for about an hour because there were so many pine needles and it tracked it as a sport, so I just kind of kept it, you know? So it's not that I was exercising all of these days, really. It was more I got movement in all of these days. On average, though, I was exercising, getting movement in, whatever you want to call it, about an hour a day. I would love to get some advice from people that are smarter than me on your thoughts on rest days. Active rest days versus full-on couch potato rest days. How often do I do these? Because it's hard for me to get in a full-on potato day, but if that is what I need to make progress, I'm going to attempt to get more of those in. But if active rest days count as a rest day, like say I'm getting still 12,000 steps a day, I would say that's probably what I averaged for October. I'd have to double check that stat, but I would say I would average probably about 12,000 steps per day. Is that not really getting a full rest day if I'm still active the entire day, but I'm not exercising that day? If that makes any sense. Let me know your thoughts on that below. Okay, let's talk about the weigh-in now. I started on October 1st at 180.8 pounds, and on November 1st, I am at 177.6. That's a weight loss of about 3 pounds for the full month. My weight loss has slowed down so much. I think these past couple of weigh-ins that I've posted, I've only lost a couple pounds in the full month, and I feel like a lot of that weight loss happens at the end of the month, when I'm like, oh, I haven't lost any weight for my weigh-in. I should probably lock in this last week. So I think my issue is I need to be better the full month. I'm doing pretty good at maintaining At least there's that. There's not too often that I'm really gaining. Let's look at my progress pictures. I take a progress picture every single month so I can see physically what I look like, because sometimes the scale shows something and a picture will show something completely different. So here is my picture from last month, and here is my picture from this month, and let's look at them together. I feel like I'm seeing some minimal changes, but I also feel like maybe I'm stepped a little farther away from the camera. So I'm not sure if I'm seeing much difference, but the scale isn't showing too much of a difference in general, so it's fine. I'm not too upset about it. I made my peace with it. I think what's really helping me right now is that I'm motivated to make November so much better because I'm back to tracking. I feel like that's going to help out quite a bit. Exercise is going great. I love exercising most days, and I don't know, maybe I do need to force a rest day in there. Back and forth about the rest day, my brain cannot stay focused. I put on this shirt and it fits. I got this shirt at Target forever ago and was not able to fit in it until the one time when I lost a ton of weight. And I was always self-conscious because it is slightly cropped. Like, this is my belly button right down here, and I am a little self-conscious still because I do have a mom belly. I've lost a lot of weight and I've lost a lot of weight twice now. I've also had 2 children and my belly is wrinkly. I think that's enough now. We're gonna put it away, because I know it's hard because you see all these people losing weight. At least I do on my feed. I see a lot of people losing weight, and then they look like they've never had a ton of weight. You know, it's not wrinkled, it's not loose skin. But then you hear them say, oh, look at all this loose skin. And you're like, where? At least that is my experience currently. I'm not super self-conscious about it because even if I did have the most perfect tummy, the most perfect waist, I'd probably barely show it because it feels weird to show it. It's not really even a self-conscious thing. It's a little odd. Hello, I just got back from shoveling some snow, but we are here for the December weigh-in. First, let's talk about what I've been doing this month. As far as what I've been eating, I've been sticking to around 1,500 calories a day and aiming for about 100 grams of protein per day. My favorite things that I've been eating this month has been the protein coffee, and I've also been making my own yogurt drinks by buying some Greek yogurts, especially the Light and Fit ones, the ones that come in different flavors. I know the added flavors is not ideal. I feel like every Greek yogurt recipe I see, they buy plain Greek yogurt and they sweeten it with something else. I am lazy. I buy the flavored Greek yogurts. I have the plain Greek yogurt to use as a sour cream substitute, but I am not afraid to use those sweetened Greek yogurts. It's fine. It's fine. So I use that, some almond milk, and some protein powder, and I mix it up and I make my own yogurt drinks. And those are great because those Chobani and Oikos drinks are like $2 to $3 per drink. It's insanity. I've also been loving my tacos. So I make chicken tacos and I make a big batch of it, and then I decide how I want to use it. Sometimes I use it as nachos. Sometimes I use it as a quesadilla. Sometimes I use it just as a bowl, as a salad. I can use it in like anything. That's what I love about making my tacos every single week. And then for dinner, I have what the rest of the family has. I just tweak it a little bit. So for example, spaghetti night. I make spaghetti for my kids. It's just noodles, ragu sauce, ground beef. That is what my kids have. And then for me, I will have a chicken breast with some of that ragu sauce on top, and I'll add some Parmesan cheese or some mozzarella cheese, depending on what we have. Or I'll make my protein pasta, and I will literally have the same exact thing, but I'm not the biggest fan of ground beef in my spaghetti. I'd rather have the chicken, so I usually just have chicken instead. As for my fitness journey this month, this has been very interesting to me because I've kind of been lazier this month than past months. And a lot of that is because I'm doing a lot of editing for December right now. I am planning on doing more videos this month, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So I've been sitting a lot. I've also been visiting with friends and family. We had some Thanksgivings. It just naturally became that I didn't work out as much as I did in previous months. I really only did like 3 to 5 organized workouts per week, which is crazy when you compare it to the 5 to 7 that I was doing before. I also very rarely hit my step goal. So I was pretty inactive this month, but I also was still doing workouts. Like I had started the Chloe Ting weight loss challenge and unfortunately was not able to completely finish it just because I have a video plan for December where I am doing another fitness challenge. So I had to switch over to that one. So yes, I was working out pretty consistently, but I was also being very lazy. And I'm surprised that I didn't start feeling like a blob, like I didn't have any strength anymore. I was feeling pretty good, actually. I don't know. Now let's talk about the weigh-in. On November 1st, I weighed in at 177.6, and today on December 1st, I weighed in at 173. I will say, the weigh-in before this morning was 171.8, and I did have Thanksgiving yesterday. So, some of this is turkey. It's probably pie, because I was liking the pie. There were 2 different pies there. I wanted to try each, and originally the plan was to share with my kids, but they're having too much fun with their cousins, and they skipped pie. I don't understand either. I love pie. I'd rather eat pie than play, but I'm also an adult. Though I feel like as a kid, I stopped just about everything for pie. Anyways, that doesn't matter. My goal for this month was originally to hit 175, and I got past that, so I'm pretty happy about that. Although about mid-month, when I saw the trend going down and going down quite quickly, I was thinking I might be at 170 by the end of this month. So yes, there is a part of me that is a little disappointed we didn't get there, but I also know I ate turkey, so. And now here are my progress pictures. Here is the beginning of November, and here is this morning. And if you look at these compared to each other, I think you're probably seeing what I'm seeing. I will say I have a lot of progress picture blindness. It's hard for me to really see differences unless they are really, really there. And I do feel like this month the differences were slight, but I do feel like I see them. When I look at these pictures, I'm seeing a similar size, but it's like it's a little bit tighter. Like things aren't as droopy as they were, which is exactly what I want. I do have a mom belly. I cover it up in my progress pictures because I feel like the mom belly is not going to be going anywhere, and the mom belly being out kind of ruins my progress pictures. So we do the high-waisted situation. And I know it'll be there for like forever, but it would be nice if it just like, just a little bit. And I feel like it is starting to do that. That does create wrinkles. We do have loose skin. Go ahead and see my vlog from before this one. I talk about that a little bit more. Lately, I have been doing okay at tracking. I did really good tracking, and then I left for my mom's for the weekend, and then after that, I kind of just completely fell off to the point where yesterday I ate so many snacks. I'm kind of nervous to step on the scale this morning, but I'm gonna do it because I need that reality check, and I need to get back to tracking today, so I'm gonna do it. I have been at 171 point something this entire month. I want to get to 170 by the end of the month, and we're about halfway through the month. It's probably going to be about 2 pounds to lose still. Gosh, my hair. All right, today is the day that we get back to it, because dang, I know I didn't gain like 3 pounds overnight. That didn't happen, but the scale is saying that it happened, and that slightly discouraged, but also motivated to get back to it because I've been slacking for a few days here. It's Wednesday. I got back on Sunday from my parents' house, and I should have been tracking as soon as I got back, and I was feeling kind of lazy, so we're back to it. One thing I haven't been lazy about, though, is the exercise, I've been doing really good with that. Today is my first rest day of the week. So that's been going well. I just need to get back to good nutrition, especially if I want to kind of eat a little bit more of what I want at Christmas. What my plan is to eat what I want at Christmas, but to not go absolutely crazy at Christmas. Like, I'm gonna keep portion sizes in mind. I'm gonna have a high protein breakfast in the morning. We're gonna be chill. It's gonna be fine. I am a little stressed about, I said that I was gonna reach my goal in the next weigh-in, so that'll be January 1st, that I was going to reach my goal of 170. And I kind of wish I wouldn't have sounded so excited for that goal, because it's proving difficult to lose this last 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. Anyways, I've babbled on about that for long enough. I need to go out and shovel all of the snow. I'm inside, I'm having my protein coffee. The kids are having their usual pancake corn dogs. These are the only thing that they will eat. And we got a new microwave, and my son is really enjoying pressing the buttons on that. So he has become quite the helpful cook. But protein coffee, we have a kind of peppermint mocha kind of thing. Chocolate protein powder, peppermint extract, and coffee. That's it. And I like it iced, even in the winter. Shoveling was not too bad. It was actually kind of light snow. I feel like it might work for a snowman. I think we're going to figure that out later. We also might go to the store and get some sleds, because we got mounds of snow, and sledding would be so much fun, even just in our yard. So I'm making plans. It's gonna be a fun day. We have returned from our shopping excursion. We went to Walmart, and excitingly, I got a Costco membership for Christmas. So we went to Costco also. It's only our second real trip, our third trip in general. The first trip we did wasn't a real trip. It was like a get the membership and get out kind of trip. Here is the Walmart stuff. We also got sleds at Walmart, which the kid is outside right now sledding away. I will be joining him in just a moment, but I gotta put all this stuff away. The barbecue sauce, no sugar added. These are a great alternative to regular barbecue sauce because you can't tell the difference at all. And it's only 15 calories per 2 tablespoons of it. So we make shredded chicken with barbecue sauce every once in a while. It's an easy crock pot meal. And we use this. My favorite salad dressing, which I'm going to be using in just a moment here on my salad for lunch today. My instant yeast for pizza dough, my husband's multivitamin, and sprinkles for decorating sugar cookies with the kids. So that was Walmart. Let's talk about Costco. For coffee, I really cheaped out. I got a giant Folgers. This was only like $13, and I drink coffee every single day. But coffee has gotten very, very expensive lately, so we are going to get Folgers. Let me know if you know of any really good budget coffees that I should try. Folgers is just what I go to because when I was in college, Folgers was what I would get because it was the cheapest in the grocery store at the time. I didn't do too much research into what a more budget-friendly one was because I was shopping with 2 children. That is the haul. I'm gonna take a minute, put everything away, and then lunchtime. For lunch, I have basically a sub in a tub, so it's got turkey, cheese, and sourdough with lettuce, and that dressing that we were talking about. And although this is not as high in protein as I would like, it's only 20 grams. Usually I aim for like 20 to 30 grams of protein. It'll do. I just need to get going. So I'm making dinner a little bit early. I'm using these Banza chickpea pasta things, and I'm gonna try to make my own macaroni and cheese. So I measured out a serving of that. I think I'm gonna have the lightly breaded chicken chunks that are at Costco, and that will be my kids meal, basically. I'm basically leveling up a kids meal. I'm attempting to make my own mac and cheese here. And then I have chicken nuggets. It'll be a good meal. And maybe I should probably add some broccoli to that. I'm making dinner pretty early today. It's only 4 o'clock because we are going to leave to go skating here pretty soon. And when I come back, I'm gonna wanna just throw it in the microwave and eat it basically. So I'm making my macaroni and cheese, I'm making the kids macaroni and cheese, and then I will add the hot dogs for them and the chicken for me when we get back. It's a busy time right now because we are working on a fast schedule. I'm sorry, my brain is just not working. Outside was pure chaos, by the way. The youngest just cannot move in the snow quite yet, so he wants to be carried everywhere. So I got a few steps in. For a rest day, I feel like I got quite a bit of exercise. So I'm making this recipe up as I go. I'm gonna use a serving of this butter, which is Land O'Lakes light butter. It's 50 calories for a tablespoon. So we're going to add that. And then I have American cheese. This is the reduced fat American cheese, so a little less calories. All together, my entire meal with the chicken nuggets are gonna be around 400 calories, but it's only gonna be like 20 grams of protein. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I'm also probably gonna have popcorn at the ice rink because that's just what I do. So I'm saving some extra calories for that. I feel like it's gonna be a pretty low protein day today. I need to really bump it up tomorrow because I feel like I've been low protein for a while. As soon as I stop tracking every single time, I know I'm not getting enough protein. Noodles are ready. I'm gonna add in the butter, mix that, and then I'm just gonna add this. We're gonna melt it down. I found some leftover broccoli from the other night that I roasted, so I will add that. So that is what it ended up looking like. That's pretty good. I'm excited to eat that when I get home tonight.
Good morning. Last night was crazy. I did get around to eating my macaroni and cheese and my chicken nuggets. I did have popcorn at the ice rink. And then after dinner, I had some frozen strawberries that had dark chocolate on them. Then I had sugar cookie mochi thing. Sorry, I'm still waking up. But since I am waking up, it is time to weigh myself once again. And we'll see. I did a lot better yesterday than I did the day before. So in my brain, I'm expecting quite the drop, at least back down to where I was kind of plateauing in that 171 area, but we'll see. All right, I am back on track, which feels good. I'm gonna put on my workout clothes so that I don't decide to have another rest day today, even though honestly, yesterday was a pretty active day for a rest day, but I'm no longer sore anywhere. Maybe a little bit on the arms. Maybe a little bit. If I really think about it, I could think about my arms being a little sore. But I'm feeling pretty good today, and I was thinking of doing a Grow with Joe workout because besides the one time that I did a Grow with Joe video, I haven't done it. So today I might go crazy and she has a 5-mile walk video. I have that saved. It takes over an hour to do it. So it's a little ambitious for me, especially with the kids home today.
Look at how gross my hair is right now. Definitely need a shower. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but we are going to a Christmas parade today. I also need to make cookies for my cookie exchange party this weekend. Just another busy day. And it never slows down in December, does it? I'm showered, but I just checked how many steps I'm at right now. And I'm at 9,500 steps, and it is 11 in the morning. That workout had so many steps. I'll put the amount of steps that workout had right here. I didn't believe when she said that I walked 5. Now I'm like, did I walk 5 miles in that workout? It didn't feel as intense as my stats on my Fitbit are showing. Very good workout for beginners. So I did want to admit to something. Okay, I had half of one of these chocolate chip muffins from Costco. Let me show you. They can't be good for you at all, but they were delicious. This is what the chocolate chip muffins look like. They don't tell you how many calories per muffin. got the same lunch as yesterday. And while we're waiting for the cookies to bake, we already got one batch of cookies out. And yes, I did have a sugar cookie. And I imagine I will also be having a hot cocoa cookie after I make those because I gotta make sure they're okay. Basically what I'm saying is I'm not gonna hit my nutritional goals today. I think I'm gonna keep it pretty light on meals for the rest of the day because I don't know, these cookies are probably gonna be pretty high calorie. I ate that muffin. I wish I hadn't eaten the muffin because that is what really ruined it for me. And the main reason that I'm making these sugar cookies right now is because I have to make the hot cocoa cookies and the kid really wants to decorate cookies. So sugar cookies are the go-to for decorating. Gonna eat lunch, finish up sugar cookies, and then we will start hot cocoa cookies. So while I'm finishing up making the rest of my hot cocoa cookies, I need to restock my iced coffee. So I have the protein powder, 1 scoop in each jar. And I got my coffee brewed and I'm just going to pour a little bit in to start, just so I have room to mix it. And it's much easier to mix the protein powder in when it's hot. I've tried mixing it in with just cold coffee and it gets kind of chunky. So we're gonna mix it up with this frother that I have. I need to get a new one because it randomly detaches. And I'm just gonna use up the rest of my coffee. And I need to leave these jars out to cool for maybe like 2 hours, and then I put the lids on them and they go in the fridge. I also need to refresh my water that I keep in the fridge. I just keep a gallon of my filtered water from the sink in a gallon pitcher. And I keep it in the fridge because I like cold water. And I also add lemon slices to it because I hate plain water. So I do 1 lemon per gallon, and I'll probably use these same lemon slices for maybe like 3 days. So however many times I need to refill this thing in 3 days, which the goal is every day, 2 days to refill this. That way I'm getting about a gallon or a little more than a gallon per day of water. It doesn't happen super often, but it does happen when I get on a kick. There we go. So as for dinner, I'm so full because I ate probably like 2 to 3 sugar cookies with frosting and 2 of those hot cocoa cookies because I needed to taste test them. The recipe was weird. They came out looking weird. I had to make sure that they were good. They were very good. I can, if you remind me, I can link that recipe below because it is very tasty. I'll give it that. But because I ate so many cookies, I am feeling ill. And at about this time, because we're going to the Christmas parade, I'm starting to think about dinner. And I don't know if this is a bad idea or not, but I might just skip it because I'm just not feeling well. I do have a breakfast sandwich in the fridge, which is literally just a mini bagel with a chicken sausage patty and a slice of American cheese that I prepped a bunch of them. So if I do get hungry tonight, I'm gonna make that. But I can't even think about food. I don't feel good. I made a mistake today, and especially since I woke up weighing what I wanted to weigh, I wanted to get back into it today, and then I decided to make cookies. Well, I didn't decide to make cookies. I had to make cookies for this cookie party, and then I'm going to the cookie party on Saturday, so I'm gonna be eating more cookies, very likely. Maybe I should just make a rule, 2 cookies. I can eat 2 cookies at this party. Everything else needs to be real food. Because I'm sure that we'll also be eating dinner there. Well, yeah, that is basically my day today. I don't know if I'm leaving off on a sour note. Slightly sour. Just because I'm feeling a little and who knows what my weight's gonna do. But the goal is to still get to 170 by the end of the month. I have 2 weeks to lose 2-ish pounds. I can probably do that if I really stick to it. Although Christmas is in there, I'm nervous. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And I really hyped it up because I thought I was gonna be able to do it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I'm here with my protein coffee and my cat. Today is a weigh-in video. I am a little late to it. We'll discuss later. But every single month I do a weigh-in at the very beginning of the month just to keep me on track. If I am not tracking these things, I fall off. Out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. So we are here at the beginning of every single month talking about my weight loss journey. And today we're going to be mostly talking about December. And December was a weird month, as I'm sure it is for most everyone, honestly. I don't know how anybody stays on track during this month because it gets busy. There's holiday things going on. You got Christmas, New Year's, you got all these family things that you need to go to, and everything just makes you get thrown off. Unless you're a mega disciplined person, and I don't think I am quite there yet. I also do enjoy a Christmas cookie. So December for me was a strong start, and it slowly faded as Christmas got closer, and as soon as Christmas hit, it was gone. We're talking exercise, diet, mindset, gone as soon as Christmas happened. Do I have very many regrets? Not really. It's good to get rest. It's good for celebration. It's good for hanging out with your family and friends. And although my routine it's very difficult to get back into it, I wouldn't have done it too much differently. For exercise, at the beginning of December, I started out pretty strong. I did a challenge. It was the Growing Ananas 2.0 challenge. I did a video of that, so go ahead and check that out if you have not yet. But that was a 2-week challenge that I did, and right after that, I attempted to get back to my normal exercise routine, and it kind of just started fading away. Like I said, the closer we got to Christmas, things just started fading away. And then right after Christmas, which I told myself I was going to get back into everything right after Christmas, this is when the whole house got sick. And you may hear a little lingering something for me. I am still recovering. I am the best out of my entire family, and it's January 7th. This happened right after Christmas. It's January 7th. And my family is still trying to get better here. Sorry, I just got interrupted by my child, so we're going to try to get back to where I was last talking, but I'm sorry if it just seems a little off. Exercise completely went out the window because if I was not sick, I was taking care of a sick child, and it just was not a priority at that time. Now for diet, we were going strong once again at the beginning of December, tracking everything, and the days that I wasn't tracking was more of a mental reset kind of day. So what I've been doing, at least before everything went out the window, was I was tracking most days of the week, and then I would have 1 or 2 days during the week where I wasn't tracking, but I was still being mindful about what I was eating, kind of in an attempt to, at some point, get away from tracking food. Because the reason that I'm tracking, 1, is to keep me on track, but 2 is to give myself the knowledge for when I want to be done tracking literally everything. So I can look at something and kind of get an idea of if that would fit into my calories for the day, if it has enough protein for me, you know, that kind of stuff. By the time any holiday, anything came around, those were the days where I stopped tracking, but I was still mindfully tracking. I was having what I wanted, but keeping in mind portions and trying to prioritize protein a little bit more. So at holiday dinners, having most of my plate being the meat, and then some kind of a vegetable, and then a little bit of the carbs. And then, of course, the desserts. The desserts are what completely threw me off because I love sweets. I'm a dessert girl. I love cookies. I ate all the cookies. I ate all the cakes. I ate all the pies. No regrets, no regret. Well, maybe I could have slowed down a little bit, actually. Maybe small regrets. And then once I got sick, all of it went out the window completely. I was just trying to survive. I think because I wasn't feeling well, I still was eating less than what I usually would be eating, but I definitely was not eating very good. I feel like maybe if I had paid a little bit more attention to what I was eating, I could have gotten to feeling better a lot more quickly. But I was just eating whatever was easy to make. So for weighing in, usually I weigh myself every single day. I love the data from that. I love seeing what's working, what's not working, where I could be on my cycle. I've gained a lot of knowledge just from weighing myself every single day. And in December, there were quite a few breaks where I was not weighing myself at all because mentally I was like, let me just enjoy what I'm doing right now and not think about the repercussions that are going to show up on the scale. In the grand scheme of things, I started this year off at like 210 pounds. And if I see myself go up to 175, 178, I got to think about where I came from. And even though I'm gaining weight in December, grand scheme of things, does it really matter? It only starts to matter if I let December turn into January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. That is when it starts mattering, but just a few weeks a little off, no big deal. But mentally, I didn't want to deal with it. So there were lots of breaks in me weighing myself. And then when I got sick, once again, everything went out the window. Was not going to weigh myself. And this is also the reason why this weigh-in is a lot later than my weigh-ins usually are. Usually I do all of this on the very first of the month, and it is January 7th today. We're a little late because I wanted to get back into my routine before I even stepped on the scale. So I've been back at it for about 2 or 3 days. I'm definitely still not perfect because there are a lot of Christmas cookies still in this house. There are a lot of leftovers still in this house. And my diet has not been great, but I have gotten back to exercising and it's been feeling really good. So I did weigh myself this morning and I weighed in at 170, which I was completely shocked by. I definitely thought I was going to be closer to 175. I started December at 173 and I thought I could possibly get to 170 if I like really tried. But the thing is, I wasn't really trying for most of December. So I'm shocked that I was able to hit my goal. And 170 was my goal for all of 2025. So I hit my goal. So like I said, I like to weigh myself very often. And I was weighing myself quite often at the beginning of December. And the lowest weight that I saw was 168. I do believe that right before Christmas, yep, December 21st was when I saw 168. So I think that will be the new goal for the end of January, is to get to 168. And I think I can do it. This morning I did take my progress picture, so let's take a look at that. Oh, squirrel. This morning I did take my progress picture, so let's take a look at that. And then let's compare it to the previous month. So this is the beginning of December that we're looking at. So looking at these pictures on my phone here, I feel like, number one, I'm definitely getting paler. Number two, I'm feeling a little bit softer. And this is what I kind of expected to happen, was even though I'm losing weight on the scale, my month was not very good. So I'm not looking as strong as I usually do. Now, I'm not saying that I usually look strong. I'm just saying that I'm looking less strong this month than I do usual months. So this month I'm going to really focus on getting back into exercise, and hopefully we start seeing a little bit better progress in the next weigh-in video. But as far as the scale goes, I'm pretty happy about where I'm at right now. Hello, this is Mallory from early 2026. That is the end of my compilation series. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, because this is just the beginning of my well, maybe it's the middle of my weight loss journey. The beginning was rough, but we are really hitting some momentum here with my weight loss journey. So subscribe, follow the journey, and I will see you next time. Bye!